Okay, here we go again. This is stream number 8, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be my last stream because it's pretty much working at this point. Let me mute this. Okay, so here's what happened. When I left off last time, I was getting a little frustrated. This build plate kept slipping down whenever I tried to use it. It's kind of binding and stuff. So I figured out a couple of issues with it, and I'll show you what it was. First of all, you've got this piece running through here. Put it this way, right here, and it goes all the way through to the other side, and there's 2 belts on that. Those belts were slipping. Oh, I guess I really probably should tell you more about what's going on here. So this is live build day 8 or video 8 for the East 3D Gecko. It's a Core XY style printer. Pretty nice printer. I'm actually really impressed by it. Very beefy, very heavy. It's a nice printer. You can find out more about this printer by going to east3d.makerfun3d.com or just come to my website, which is just makerfun3d.com. And any of the video previews or whatnot will be there as well. East3D, just to east3d.makerfun.com takes you to just the category on my website of East3D. So if you just want to learn about the East3D, you can do that. But if you want to see, like, I'd post Amazon specials pretty much every day. I might miss 1 or 2 days a week, or if there isn't anything, I won't post. But most days I post something there. There's specials in the terrain markets. I try to post about that, or news in the terrain market. So MakerFun 3D is updated fairly regularly. Maybe not every day, but every 2 or 3 days there's an update, along with the updated prices on Amazon specials for 3D printing. Anyways, so back to this. Okay, so this rod runs all the way through. I screwed up on the pulley on the inside, actually on this side over here on the left side. I had tightened it too tight. I had it pushed up against the edge and it was binding. So I had to pull that away, and then this whole deck would move a little easier. That was problem 1. Problem 2 is that this bar has 2, here, let me lift this up, let's see if you can see it. Oops. Like I said, this is heavy. This bar going across has 2 belts. You can kind of see at the top of the screen there. And this is very heavy. I should have left it unplugged. Those belts have to be on there tight. What I kept running into was the belts would start to twist, and then they would flex that bar and then slip. So the bed could actually come down just fine. It just couldn't raise without slipping. Go to find out, you really have to pull on that Z motor to pull that shaft to flex it, basically pre-flex it, because there is a good amount of pressure that this exerts on that motor, or more apt, on those 2 small belts. So as long as you've got those belts very, very taut, this shouldn't have any problems. And that's literally what I was fighting for several days this past week, trying to figure that out. In a previous life, I was a machinist, and I can be kind of strong. I over tighten, force things. So the mantra that I've always been taught was don't force it. So I was trying not to force it because I didn't want to break it. Well, it does require a little force, more so than I was really happy with, to push it on. And once I got to reading, and I asked some questions in the East 3D Gecko forums or Facebook group, and once I did that, I got some responses from people. They were saying they put a lot of pressure on it. There is a video that was done by the East 3D Gecko guys, and it shows them pulling it down pretty hard, but it's really hard to get a good sense in the video of how hard that is. So that is an issue that you will probably run into if you buy one of these. And it's one that really pushed me back several days in the build because I could not figure that out. One other minor thing I had, so that it comes with this part cooling fan. It's actually kind of nice that he does that now. Unfortunately, the cooler, the hot end cooler here, is drilled on the wrong side, so it puts the cooling fan on the wrong side. It's actually supposed to be drilled on the right hand side, not the left hand side, and then it goes right around the tool, not a problem. So that's something just maybe be aware of so you don't get confused like me. But I've seen some really nice like one-piece units that go around the hot end, go around the part, or go around the nozzle to cool the part. I'm going to print one of those out. That'll be one of my early prints after I do a little bit of quick testing. It's not going to have air flowing over. I might put like a fan or something after it does its first layer just to help a little bit. We'll see. Let's see, some other issues I ran into. Oh, so the bed. So this is a heated bed. It's got 3 cables that run out. One's a thermistor, 2 for the heat bed. And then I have it going over here. I learned something. When you put that sticker on, run it out the side to go under. Then it'll reach the basically the MOSFET. I don't know exactly what it's called on this. It's really beefy compared to the MOSFET I have on my Tarantula. The cables, and it's real nice silicone wrapped cables. They're not quite long enough to reach it if they have to come out the front and then go around. But I did turn this plate and put it this way, and they do reach. Unfortunately, this plate's not square. It's rectangular, so it has to be, either this direction. It has to be this direction. So I can't turn it 90 degrees. It's not going to work. So that's something that I learned, that it should help you in your builds, that you won't have to worry about this. Something else I ran into. So when you're watching me build this, I put both of these pulleys on the same direction. And as you can see now, this one is flipped upside down. So the teeth are on the bottom and are parallel with the lower, the lower belt. So that one's lower and this one's higher to make them both parallel. So that's something else to watch when you build this, that you want to be very careful of. Something else you might want to do. I bought this at Harbor Freight. It's a 90-degree corner tool. This I was having a little bit of issues where you can see how it kind of wobbles, but that's because it's on 2 different pieces. It would wobble here when it wasn't exactly flat. And I put that on. I ran it all around the top edges and here. And once I was done with that, this thing was rock solid. It does not twist at all on here. I also did make sure on the bottom these plates were a little more square. But that was, pretty minor. Another issue I ran into, you notice there's a line coming here. I forgot to put the the block heating fan in this. That was stupid. But I have a really cool looking weaved one coming soon from AliExpress, and I'll be putting that on. One of the gentlemen from the group actually put it on his, and it was very impressive looking. I think it looks good. It fits the feel of this. It's a black and green, and it'll look really good on this. So one other thing you're supposed to do, I saw a video. You find this black piece in here. This is basically a giant zip tie, and it's been drilled on both ends. So from the video, it looks like you screw this into one of these holes. There's one on each side, and then you flex it over, and then you put all of the cables on this for cable management, and it'll reach everywhere. Well, that would work. It just doesn't look entirely clean to me. And with how I have this up top here, this will actually reach all the way to the back corner, and there's still some flex. So at this point, I'm going to call it good. I'm going to do it better. I might put zip ties. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. Right now it's just this painter's tape, so it can come off. It's not going to leave any marks. It comes off easy. I actually have it running here, and then it goes outside on the corner and runs down on the outside to avoid here. Originally, I had it running down on the inside, and it looks a little bit better, but I want to keep it from snagging. I want to give it every chance to avoid snagging that I can. So I'm running on the outside, and I don't have it come back in until it comes to the bottom. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, this was another fun one. So you probably saw me on, it was either the first or the second video, really fight with this Titan extruder. It was a pain in the butt. I could not get this piece flat, this clear piece on the front. And it was because I could not get this heatsink. I couldn't get it back all the way. So what I did is I have a pair of vice grips like so, and they could actually reach around the back of the motor here and the front of this, and because of the little indentation here, it actually could reach around, and I could squeeze it and actually push that all the way back until this is fully embedded. And that's kind of needed because, you know, I'm going to have the PTFE tube here, and then I'm going to have filament coming down into it. So you kind of need that to be like so. You know, so it lines up so it doesn't jam. I've heard people leaving this a little loose. That was an issue. Oh, something else too. There are 4 screws on this that go forward. One of them is shorter and will go in this lower right corner. It's got an overhang, and it doesn't actually go into this pancake motor at all. It's actually going along the side and just screws into the plastic. The other 3 around the outside here, they all go into the motor. So you need the longer ones, and they're just barely long enough. So you may have to squeeze it a little bit and push it in to get it started. That was a booger for me. I had some troubles with that as well. Let's see what else. Just make sure your pulleys aren't too tight. That was something that I ran through a couple times. Let me see here. If you have some around from an old computer, this is a very short power cable, as you can see. It really needs a longer one. It can barely reach around the side from the back. That's more of a minor quibble because, let's face it, these things are dime a dozen. You can get new ones easily. So let's see on the bottom side here. The end stops are not very well documented. So this is going to be something you're going to need to look at when you're doing this, because I did find an image. One of the guys, I believe from East 3D, posted in the Facebook group. That's something I'm going to actually put into my build log. And all of these items I'm planning on putting in my build log, so that'll help make it better. It is a total mess under here right now. Like, it is a disaster. I haven't put in any of the pieces to help fix that. It comes with a few, oh, here we go. So it comes with a few of these little dealies that stick underneath, and then you can run, I think you run a zip tie through them, and then you run your cables through the zip tie. I will be doing that sooner rather than later. I just kind of want to make sure it works, because it has been kind of a pain to get to this point. Realizing the steel rod is supposed to be flexed, that was the epiphany I needed to really get this to work. On the underside, the electronics look freaking spectacular. Just how they've got them laid out, they just look good. Gotta love that about a lot of this machine. Just looks good. It's got some real little fiddly things that are kind of annoying, but overall it just looks good. And if it prints as well as it looks, you know, if it prints as well as I think it will, you know, as well as most people are saying, I think this is going to be a pretty spectacular printer. It's going to be something that I will probably keep busy almost 24/7 just because I want stuff printed, my wife wants stuff printed, my daughter wants stuff printed, my friends want stuff printed. I do a lot of printing of terrain, and I've got orders from a few of my friends on some of the terrain I've done. They want me to make it for them. Like, Warlayer has some phenomenal stuff that I've done on my tarantula. Uh, Worlds Overrun. Eric is just a phenomenal organic sculptor, and I'm going to be printing those, and I think a lot of those are going to be printed here, though I do know some are going to be on my tarantula as well, because I really have enough quote-unquote orders to pretty much keep 2 machines busy. It's not really orders, I'm doing them for friends. I also want to build eventually a dungeon using tiles, and I'll use that. Okay, so back from that aside, that's the other side of my site. My site kind of covers printers, 3D printers, especially lower end ones, sub 1,000 printers, as well as D&D terrain, or D&D like dungeon tiles and wargame terrain. So those are kind of the two pieces that come together on my site. So this is the printer. Like I said, it looks phenomenal. This is a glass bed with a PEI sheet on top. It's got a sticker underneath that makes it heated. We'll see how that works. And I haven't put it on yet, but whoopsie, it's got some stuff in it. I've also got the the filament holder I haven't installed yet. That's just a few screws goes on top. So this is the moment we've been waiting for, and it started for me. I hope it continues to start. Okay, this is where that short cable's really annoying. And unfortunately I can't find any power strips, and I've already got it turned on the back. That's why it automatically started. Let's see if I can scoot this back just a little more so you can kind of see it better. Okay, so on the front it's got some buttons, and so we're gonna hit this, and then actually no, I'm just gonna home it. So I'm gonna home X, so you can see it homing right there, I hope. Not homed, it's already basically there. I'm gonna home Y, so it's basically homed as well. Now I'm gonna home Z. This one you should be able to see. See, the whole bed's coming, or this whole tray's coming down, and it's too high from the bed. I'll have to zero that, but there it is. I can hit this and this. Now let's change this to 10 millimeters. I'm hoping this is the correct Y, or not. There we go. X. I have a feeling there might be an issue there. So this is X positive. That is Y negative. Let me have those back up. Then Z, and then this is Z positive. So it moves. Yay! I am so happy about that. I'm going to start at printing. I'm going to take this offline for that. Actually, I'm going to take it offline because I have to do a little bit more tweaking. The fan's not running. I think I pulled it out. I think I'm going to clean some of the wiring up a little bit because how this plugs in, it's a little weird. I'm going to make sure that's working, and then I've never actually turned up the heat on it, so we'll see how that goes. So it's done. This video will be uploaded to YouTube, very soon. So probably if you're watching, you're going to be watching on YouTube because YouTube keeps them around. It's fully assembled. It's an awesome machine. It really is. And I am really looking forward to printing with it and actually putting it through its paces. I'll do that for several weeks, and then I will actually record a full review, and I'll also post that review to my website. So you can either listen to it or you can read it. The one I type out will probably be more concise. I'll probably ramble a little bit more with the audio version. So yeah, so that's the East 3D Gecko. This machine's beautiful. I would suggest checking it out. And the great thing about it is the owner is keeping up on them, and there's some issues that they've run into. They've remedied most of those that they've run into. That's just cool. They send up replacement parts. They've fixed them. He's staying on top of these printers to make sure that the printers that you get are the top printers in the category. That they're high quality. You get what you pay for. And like I said, he's taken really good care of all of us. He's always been helpful to me. He's been helpful to other people in the group. Very responsive. He's got a team of people that work with him that are also very responsive. So yeah, I recommend. At this point, I recommend the printer. We'll have to see how the review goes. I don't really think it's going to be any different than what this has been. So thanks for sticking with me through all this. I hope it helps you with your decisions to maybe buy, or I really hope it helps you when you're assembling and some of the gotchas that I ran into that were really annoying. So good luck. Again, this is Kevin Rank. I run MakerFun3D.com, and all of my East 3D Gecko stuff can be found at East3D. Let me restart that. It's at east3d.makerfun3d.com. It's just a subdomain in my main domain. So thanks for stopping by.